Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My respected brothers and sisters, I love all of you for Allah's sake. This is just a concise reminder, but a very important one on the virtues of the first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj. As we all know, the month of Zhul-Hajj has arrived in some countries, while some countries are still waiting for its arrival. In a hadith which has been reported by Imam al-Bukhari, may Allah have mercy on him, volume 2, number 457, our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Ma min ayyamin al-amalu salihu fihinna ahabbu ila Allah khayrun min hadhihi al-ayyam." Meaning there are no days on which righteous actions are more rewarded, are more prestigious in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, than in these first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj. In another hadith, which has been reported in Irwa'ul Ghalil, volume 3, number 398, our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says once again, "Ma min amalin azka inda Allah, wala a'adhamu ajran min khairin ya'amaluhu fil ashr al-adha." Meaning, there is no deed that is better before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and is greatly rewarded than the deed or action done in these first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj. These two traditions of the Prophet teach Muslims that any good actions you partake in these first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj are more dearest, are more prestigious, are more rewarded before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one would wonder, what of the month of Ramadan? Imam Ibn Kathir, may Allah have mercy on him, reconciled between the virtues of the last 10 days of Ramadan and the first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj by saying in his tafsir, volume 5, page 417, by saying, if you look at the nights of the last 10 days of Ramadan are more prestigious than the remaining nights of the entire year, with no exception. While if you look at the days, the first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj are more prestigious before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the remaining days of the entire year, with no exception. Meaning that in these first 10 days of Zhul-Hajj, we are urged to partake in doing good actions, and this is very important indeed. Good actions in Islam, one may argue, they are even uncountable. You cannot say this is the total number of good actions or righteous actions we are urged to do in Islam, because there are many. However, our scholars, may Allah have mercy on them, our pious predecessors, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them, outline some good actions that we are urged to partake in. Number one, fasting, meaning voluntary fasting. Because of a hadith which has been authenticated in Sahih Abi Dawud, volume 2, number 467, in which one of the wives of our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reported him by saying, "Kana Nabi yasumu tis'a dhil-hijjah." She said that Allah's Prophet used to fast during the first 9 days of Zul-Hajj. We are urged to fast from the 1st of Zul-Hijjah to the 9th of Zul-Hijjah. Secondly, we are urged to partake in a great deal of saying, La ilaha illallah, walhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, because of a hadith which has been reported by Imam Muhammad in his Musnad, volume 7, number 417, in which, and number 224 again, in which our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَأَكْثِرُوا فِيهِنَّ مِنَ التَّحَلِيلِ وَالتَّحَمِيدِ وَالتَّكْبِيرِ. Our beloved Rasulullah used to urge Muslims to be saying, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walhamdulillah. So the best version to be recited is, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. And we are urged to be saying loud and clear, not only silently, but we are urged to be saying, like how Ibn Umar and Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with them, used to say. By doing that, we will encourage others to say. Number 3, reciting the glorious Quran. Each and every letter you recite, you have 10 rewards, and it's very important. Number 4, charity. We are urged to take care of our orphans, the poor and the needy, particularly within this period to make them very happy is very important. Whatever you spend for Allah's sake, you will be rewarded immensely, inshallah. Then number 5, to sacrifice our sacrificial animal, that is udhiyah. We are ought to do that. Number 6, we are ought to partake in Umrah and Hajj in these prestigious days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our good actions and forgive our shortcomings and our limitations. I do hope that this message will be conveyed to others so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accommodate all of us in His reward. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.